Welcome back to the Titanium Hanger. This is Mike. Today I want to talk to you about the MMC Ocular Max RMX-01C Jaguar cell. It is cell shaded, comes with a cage, a cell cage, and we will assemble that and see all this good stuff. But this is a recolor. This is a reissue of the recolor into cell shaded look, and I think it's a pretty good figure overall. There are a couple of things about it versus the original that people are probably not going to like as much. But I think it's pretty cool, especially if you're going super tune accurate, and especially if you want the cage, and especially if you missed out on the first mold. This is your chance to get it again. I don't know when they're going to reissue it again, but I do have a link down below where you can currently get it at ShowZ, and remember TH reviewer code in there if you follow into that link. But anyway, we're going to get into taking a look at Jaguar Cell Shade coming up. All right, here's the box, the packaging, and it just very thin, considering it's got this cage in it and the figure, and you got kind of tech specs too. I don't have one of those red things there, but you can still see it. Pretty cool, pretty interesting, decent box. Right out of the box, you've got the gel cell, and here's the parts. We're going to build that here in just a bit, and then we have the tape, the cassette itself, which is in a cassette holder, kind of like the olden days. It's a little tight of a fit in there, and oh, you feel all the weight behind that, the nice cold. And then you have this booklet, which shows sort of a partial transformation. MMC does that a lot with that partial transformation. And then you have some instructions sort of in there, and then a card, and yeah, kind of cool stuff. Typical MMC kind of stuff that they got going on there. Here is the figure itself, and this is the way I feel about all of them. In the cassette mode, it's not really that interesting, but it is the full-size cassette, and I know a lot of people haven't handled a standard cassette in a long time, and it feels big, but it is the same size as a cassette. Side by side, it looks a little bit taller than a standard cassette, and that's, I remember them being almost the exact same size, so it does feel a little bit taller than a standard cassette. There's the width and thickness of it, but as you can see, it's about the right width. Just, I don't know, so it is a little tall. That kind of sucks, but anyhow, real close. So next up, we're going to build this. It looks pretty simple to build this. We got two of these up top and a bottom, no middle. Haha. Anyhow, we're going to line these up. Now, first off, the opening cage piece, we're going to put that in the front, and it only has one tab versus this has two tabs for the back. And these side pieces are actually slightly different too, because this one here has the kind of lock, and we're going to put that right here. So what we're going to do is tab these together, and then these are going to go into here. Kind of tight into there. Push it in good. It's quite simplistic. Would be way easier off camera to do it, but it's just the way things always go. And then plug this into here, and then we're going to plug this in to here, but we need to have both of these. So we need the door plugged in, and I think there's like notches on the inside, so you want these notches to be on the inside. I think that's how it's going to work. And then as we plug this in, we need to line that up. Simple stuff. Simple tricks and nonsense. Line those holes up. Make sure all this is going to work. All right. I'm already messing stuff up. You need to make sure that this part here is facing outside, so there's clearance on that. So I'll flip that around real quick before you push this in real good, and then push it in real good, And now that will work for the clearance and all that good stuff. Then we put the top on, and you got to line up all the holes and push down on it. It's simple. I feel like I make everything harder than it should be sometimes. Very simple. That's lined up. And then over here on this side, make sure it lines up with the holes. And you got the cage. There it is. And then you have a key and stuff, so I'm not really sure if the key's going to do anything or if it's just for looks. I think it's just for looks. You also get a key with like an MP hound and all of that kind of stuff. But here's the key. Yeah, it's in there. Doesn't do anything, of course. It's just goes in there. Yeah, there's cage. All right, getting into transformation. We are going to lift the head up, slide these panels down. On the back side, slide these panels down, and we are going to pull the tail out, and then we are going to disconnect the legs, and then we are going to kind of lift the head up and lift these sections up a bit as we sort of go around to this side. The side that has all of these rivets is going to be the bottom. Without the rivets, well, there's these rivets that are going to hide in just a bit, is the top. So we are going to rotate these around and rotate the neck around kind of at the same time. Come on, neck, rotate. There that goes. Fast and easy. We need to untab the... pull the front legs out and then untab the lower leg and then get it all positioned to where that looks good. Same thing on the other side over here. Untab this with a lot of force. And it has been a bit since I've transformed this guy. It's been a while. There he is. Then coming around here to the back, we are going to open the wings of the bombs. There, open the wings of the bombs. There. And then we are going to rotate his pelvis down a bit. And then we are going to fold the bombs up. And then we have the leg down. Pull this leg out. Position it properly accordingly. Same thing on the other side. Repeat the same process. There we go. And then there we go. And there he is. Looking good. So we've about got him where he needs to be. I'll probably tighten him up just a little bit, make sure everything is just right on him. Match him up to my other one. But yeah, there's transformation. There he is, Ravage. Alright, so here is Jaguar in his cell-shaded cat mode. It's not bot mode. It's cat mode. I guess you want to call it bot mode. His animal mode. But I noticed it in the cassette mode, but in the cat mode, I don't even think that the camera's picking it up. It looks greenish. The main body looks greenish, which I guess I don't have a problem with it, but I thought it was going to be more like a charcoal gray, but it's got a little green tinge to it. I guess when you're playing in this palette space for these colors, the hues kind of get a little bit different there, but you got a light gray on the lower legs, and then you have greenish green on pretty much everything else. Yeah, that's really strange, but yeah, it feels just like the other one. We'll do a comparison to the other one and all that kind of stuff here in just a bit, but yeah, looking really good though. Nice looking figure, nice looking mold. If you haven't picked up the first one, the black one, this is definitely worth picking up because it's still a great looking mold and is trying to match the aesthetic of the cartoon, which is, of course, that's a fun thing to do there. But let's get into some articulation. First thing is he does have an articulated jaw, and I like the kind of metallic looking paint that's on it. But he does have an articulated jaw. His head moves side to side quite a bit, and the neck will move with it. It's the way it's designed, and it goes down, but not up a whole lot. So you can get that going on there. With the leg, it goes out this much, in this much, 360. So you don't get too much range in there. And of course you get all that range because of it does fold up on itself. So pretty much what you need, the feet side to side and little to no up and down. I mean, it looks like it should do more up and down. Maybe it's just tight and I haven't. Yeah, there it goes down like that. But not a whole lot, just a little bit. And then getting to the back here, you go out pretty far. I mean, obviously because of the transformation, but you can go out pretty far depending on how you want to do that. And then you've got articulation at right here, and then even a little more articulation at the lower leg, and then ball joint, tight ball joint on the foot. So it gets you some poses that you could do quite a bit with when it comes to pose. Tail goes up about that high. So yeah, gets the job done. Rocket missiles, you could slightly move them if you want to, up and down, for maybe a different effect for when he's walking. But yeah, I mean, I really like this. This, having had the vintage one, knowing how much that sucked, this is awesome. One thing I do want to say is it does feel full of die-cast and hefty, and the lower legs and a few other places. And it holds together like really solid. It's like really solid as it holds together. So it's a well-built figure, and seeing as how this is probably technically the 5th production run of this, it might be the 6th or 7th. They might have done some other recolors that I forgot about, like con exclusives, but it's solid and it's hefty and heavy, so pretty solid figure overall compared to the original one. So let's do a quick comparison here, and you can see the color scheme difference, and I think the light now is showing where you can see it has kind of a green tinge to it versus the first one that's black. And it actually took me till the 2nd reissue to coming around to buying it, even though it is an awesome release. I just had all the other versions and I didn't know I needed it till the 2nd reissue. So the 3rd time it was out is when I finally picked one up. But it is that awesome enough. Plus I kind of like the cage, so I'm going to be checking out that cage here in a little bit, showing kind of what we can do with it. But yeah, it's the same old, just slightly different color. And again, if you missed out on this one, I don't think they don't have plans currently to reissue this one, but that's why this one's out. But it always seems funny when they put this one out. It feels like a few months later we hear about this one coming. So we'll see what happens. I'm trying to put my cassettes away, but here it is next to the Fans Toys version of Ravage, which it's a good version, but as you can see, this thing sort of blows it away engineering wise. And then kind of get a look at it next to Megatron. So that's kind of how it sizes up and scales next to MP36. If I can get this shot in there just right, so you can decide if you think that this is an appropriate scale. I think it is a more appropriate scale for Ravage than what we're getting with all of the ones that are basically just G1 size figures that we're getting in the Masterpiece line. This is a Masterpiece sized Ravage. Now for the Gimmick, and the Gimmick is, you can put your Ravage in the cage. Number 1. Number 2, you can have yourself a Masterpiece Takara Hound. Now if you have this Hound, you kind of lift the ab crunch up, and then you can fold this piece out like that to have his hook for his key. And then you have a couple of things. You have the key with a little key ring that you can put over. Everything sounds so simple. Puts over this. Can I do it without covering up the camera? It should be made to fit this perfect. Like that. I don't know if you'd say that's perfect, but it's a thing. And then you have this piece here, which should fit into his mouth. Is it his mouth that it fits in? I can't remember if it was mouth or if it's like a paw extension. But yeah, I think it fits in his mouth or something along those lines. If I'm right. And I've been known to be right once. That one time. Anyhow, it's kind of something like that. Alright, so this is my look at the MMC with a RMX-01C Jaguar cell, and cell, it's kind of funny. Cell shaded. He has his gel cell here, his cage cell. It all works. But I think it's pretty good. If you didn't get in on the jet black one, the more standard traditional one, and you just want this mold, it's a great option. You're not going to get the cage and the jet black one. I don't think they'll ever package it like that. And with it, it is still a very solid mold. It still holds up really well. It still looks great. And in a display, it's going to look fantastic. The thing is, though, most people do want the standard traditional colors, and it's not available now. And there is no word from them that they're planning on putting it out anytime soon, like this year or next year. But anyhow, I do have a link for this where you can get it as Show Z, and I'll have a link down below. Remember to put in TH for reviewer code, helps me out, and let me know what you think about this release, and do you have any of these other MMC cassettes? Like and subscribe. Teddy Hanger out.
And he doesn't want anything to happen to them. I think he'd make a neat president.
Ravage, this key's not for you. Don't think he likes being a prisoner.
Can't say I blame him.
Not even their own. Hey, Ravage, watch this. Here's your friend Megatron. I just saw Prime. He told me Teletran 1's located a secret supply of rocket fuel.
Where?
Not too far from here, about 140 kilometers due west.
Then maybe we can go back to Cybertron?
Why, there's enough rocket fuel at that base to make 4 trips to Cybertron. Come on, let's tell Ironhide. Make him feel better.
But what about Ravage?
Don't worry about him. He's not going anywhere.
It's Ravage!
He's getting away!